Hey, Chris and Ryan going live. The best podcast, Beauty and the Beast. Sit back and catch a vibe. Oh yeah, we talking zombies and apocalypses and all those things you like. Going beast mode, and if you didn't know, it's Peter Z up on the mic. Whoa. Hey, TWD family, grab the snacks about the pantry and subscribe and like if you can, please. Or those walkers eat you like some candy. Hey, okay. You at the right place at the right time. No one does it better, that's the bottom line. Beauty and the Beast, this is prime time. Let's go.
I'm so sorry. Try it again.
Hello, hello. Can you
Did
guys
you
hear?
mute the entire chat or the entire thing?
I don't want to
No.
talk about it. It's fixed, okay? It's done.
It never
all right?
happened.
And
take two.
Yeah, all right. Start the intro all over again. Let's go.
Hi guys, how are you?
See, Renee, this is the universe laughing at me because before Meg joined the chat, I said that, wow, everything's all squared away. Everything's going good. Everything's going great.
Never say that. Never say that.
Yep. Takira said, yay, they're all okay. So yeah, I think they can hear us now. So welcome.
Yep. Hi,
And
everybody.
we had a really good intro too.
Oh, we had a great intro. I just, you know what? Yep.
Pi said you did it. Pi said you did it on purpose to be sneaky.
Why does it keep switching to top chat?
I know it does it all.
We
I
just
told
talked
you.
about that too.
Yeah,
literally.
YouTube is very crazy. I don't understand why it does that. So, yeah. So if you are in the chat and you can't see everything, make sure that the top left corner says live chat, not top chat, because you won't be able to see everyone.
Well, you see us, just not parts of the chat.
Well, yeah, in the chat, right? Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, in the chat.
Pi,
So,
would I do that on purpose? Me, innocent me? I would not.
Now you gotta flash the puppy dog eyes.
I don't have them. Sorry.
You can see, his little horns holding up his halo.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly. They're right
He's
here.
using the
right
headphones to hide them.
Here. Yeah, exactly.
So yes, how is everyone's summer? I think that's what we were discussing, and then realized.
Yep.
So good summer.
Too quick summer. That's all I gotta say.
I hate the winter with a burning passion. Whatever, fall is my favorite season. And I work overnights right now. And so one of the best feelings in the world is going into work and it's like 80 degrees, but by 1 o'clock in the morning, it's about 55, 60 degrees outside. It is breezy. It is beautiful. So I love it. My summer, I really didn't do much except for worked, but I was very happy that fall feels like it's coming very early, and I'm very okay with that.
Yeah,
it was like 72, 74 degrees all day today.
Oh my!
And I kind of wish. Yeah, it was so bizarre. I was like, oh, fall's coming early. Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
It was a little cooler here today. It was 91, I believe. So.
Oh, 91. Okay.
Yeah, it was cooler than it has been.
Did you get your parka out?
Yeah, I was a little chilly today. We tease Joy because at the office, Josh keeps it very chilly, and so she's always in a sweatshirt at work.
I would love that.
That's so funny.
Where I work, we don't have the whole building has AC except for my office, and the whole building has heat except for my office. So I have to supply my own heat, portable heater and fan. So anytime it gets too hot or too cold, everybody comes to my room.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But today I didn't need anything because it was kind of chilly.
Yeah.
I just realized, Renee, you got to join the Backwards Hat Club. Yeah, Ryan and I here in hats. Oh yeah, we don't want to mess up the hair. No, we
Yeah,
don't.
no,
Yeah.
Renee's got fabulous hair. Let's not do that. The reason I have a hat on is because I have no hair.
My hair just the weather just made my hair gross. So
Fair enough.
Well, I was gonna say I have my Negan hat, but I can't find it.
uh-oh.
I mean, it's a there's you guys can only see this little like tidy area. You should see the rest of it.
One day we will.
It's there. Yeah, we'll do a tour. But yeah, it's there somewhere. But yeah, so Daryl Dixon, we got a new spinoff coming
Yep.
Another.
September 10th, and they haven't
That's
announced.
crazy. That's like a little more than 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's not longer. And so they haven't said that it'll be on three. I have not seen it like in print that it'll be 3 days early like the other ones, but I imagine it will be on AMC Plus. I mean, I don't know why they would not do that, but anyway.
I feel like premieres and finales, they should be aired when they're meant to be aired.
Like the Walking Dead finale.
Am I the only one that thinks that? I mean, like,
no,
I agree.
It's just people just spoil everything, and yeah, it's just they're not courteous about it or anything. It's just they have to be the first one to tell everyone, and yeah, it's just I agree.
Especially because people, and I'm going to generalize here because obviously this doesn't apply to everybody, but people in general ruin good things for people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you go on X for 5 seconds, and you see, like we talk about all the time, you see the behind the scenes pictures, and you see this, and you see that, and I mean, when we were watching Dead City, people spoiled the whole Stephen Ogg thing before that was even, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, he could have been there to direct, or he could have been there to visit because he's really good friends with JDM and stuff, but you pretty much knew he was going to be in an episode. And so it's like, it takes the fun out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like premieres and finales are like sacred within a TV show. Because the premiere set up the entire season. And finales wrap up the entire season.
Yeah. Or cliffhangers, I mean, sometimes there's crazy deaths, or there's cliffhangers or something like that. So yeah, it's just it should just be.
No, you know what? I hate that it goes early in general. Like Peacock, for example, their shows go on Peacock the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can view it in advance.
Mm-hmm.
That is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But this whole couple of days before, it's bullshit.
Yeah. Agreed.
I mean, for someone like you, Renee, that's different. It comes in handy. Well,
I feel like
but that's fine.
But I'm not a spoiler. I mean, I watch this stuff way ahead of everybody else, and I don't spoil anything. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's my job. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't write about things that shouldn't be spoiled. Ahead of time or anything like that. But yeah, it's some people just they just have to be the first ones, and I don't know.
Because it goes back to kind of what we talked about in the pre-show. It all goes to clicks, the views. It's all for the attention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which I get. That's my job. I got it. I got to write things to get clicks, to get this stuff and do, whatever. But I still just keep it to myself,
But you don't do it in a spoiler way, which everybody appreciates.
Yeah. And even when I do my article, I will write my articles. I pre-write everything ahead of the Sunday airing, but I don't publish it. According to AMC, they give us they will tell you can't publish this information till 10:04, or whatever. They have the runtime,
okay, yeah.
And they will give you a specific time, and you're not supposed to post anything until. And I post it. I'll schedule it to be posted at that time that they state. But I still, in the beginning of the article, I put this will contain spoilers for episode blah 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 of whatever story or whatever series it is, just in case someone clicks on it not realizing what they clicked on, because I hate it. Yeah, I just don't like it. So anyway, but yeah, so there's a ton of trailers, teaser trailers and things, and then there's a full length trailer for Daryl. So we're slowly getting little things pieced together, to find out. Whatever. So what are you like? Okay, so like as far as how he gets there, from what you guys have watched, what are you speculating?
So I actually wrote this in my notes. So I know he when he lands in France, he doesn't know how he got there, but we see the clip of him jumping into the water. When he boarded the boat, did he know he was going to be looking for Rick somewhere, or did he just not know where it was going?
Well, he says in one of the things that when Isabel, the nun, asks him how he got there, he says a lot of bad decisions. So I feel like he was put on that boat. I don't think that's my opinion, and I have not watched any yet. I feel that he was put on the boat maybe because he got too close to the CRM, maybe got too close to finding, something like that.
And they did it to kind of get him out of the way.
Yep.
Okay, that would make sense. I was really confused by that.
And so when he's jumping, though, do we really see him go into the water?
No.
So, because that was my first thing. I was like, oh, he jumps in the water. And I rewatched. I was like, he doesn't really jump in the water. We don't see that for sure.
Maybe he was like knocked out and thrown in the water.
Yeah.
That's why he lands on the boat, on like the capsized boat.
Yeah.
It's
so what were you, did you have any thoughts, Ryan?
No, I was just gonna ask, and you kind of answered my question, but I was gonna say, what do you think those bad decisions are that he was referring to? I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna say obviously, never mind, because we just learned that AMC likes to spoil some of their own things. But I'm intrigued by that because, and I really hope they do justice to it, because it seems like there is a large gap in between the end of season 11 of The Walking Dead and the beginning of the Daryl spinoff.
Yeah, and we haven't heard a timeline, as far as I know.
It just looks like it's been a while for Daryl. He looks a little rougher than we saw him at the end of season 11. And it's also interesting that if I go to France and I say I'm from Poughkeepsie, New York, what does that mean to your average Frenchman or Frenchwoman?
Nothing.
Not a damn thing. So the fact that he's on a radio saying, I come from a community called the Commonwealth in America. Well, fucking good for you. What do you want, a fucking biscuit? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
no, it would be a croissant because they're in France.
True. If it was the UK, it'd be a biscuit. Excuse me. Go. But I'm like, I don't understand. And hopefully they elaborate on that, and I feel like there's a lot of storytelling that could be done there. Because how is that relevant to anybody in France? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Unless the Commonwealth was in contact with somebody in France.
Possibly.
Because we've established that radio communications are a big thing. I mean, we've seen that as a trope throughout the entirety of Walking Dead. And so maybe, I don't know, because we talked about the CDC and how they said that France was one of the last places, though it was actually the last place to fall. So maybe there was some kind of communication, because we know that the variants are going to play a part in the Daryl spinoff. So I don't know, but I found that very odd.
Well, I don't think he wasn't on a radio though when he's saying that. It's a recording. It's like, I think he's got
Oh, you're right, it was a recording.
Because he says things like, I hope they know that, or something like, like, I think it's a recording.
I think you're right, actually, thinking back at it and like looking at it. I was it almost looked like a radio, but I think you're right. I think it was a tape recorder.
Well, our brains go there because they use them so often, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think that one thing that I missed in one of the trailers or a teaser, I don't know which one it was, but comicbook.com pointed out that there is a clip, and it's very brief, of Daryl on his motorcycle. So that means that is pre-France. He didn't float that paper with him. So they're speculating that we will get to see something, because their take on what that little, like I said, his seconds long clip was he was off, I think he was off the bike looking back. Like, they feel like there's going to be some kind of thing where he almost thought about turning back for some reason, but didn't. So I thought that was really interesting. But so I feel like, like with Dead City, they did a very good job of piecing together what had happened those missing years that we don't know. So I feel like they'll do the same thing with this one, because like you said, it's going to be vital to the story. Like, why is this and why that, and I think, in my opinion, then I think whatever these bad decisions were, which I feel probably have something to do with him searching for Rick and Michonne, maybe he gets too close to CRM, because who else is big enough? I guess of the known organizations, the CRM is the only big enough one to have a cargo ship, or something
that we know of.
Yeah, that's what I said, of the known organizations. Yeah, so of the Padre had one, but it's not Padre. So, they, maybe they were shipping him over there. It blows up, because we did see that explosion. And that's when he gets on the, the lifeboat. And who knows, I don't know how long he was strapped to that thing, and then washes ashore, So, it's kind of far-fetched, but at the same time, if it was a cargo ship, it's not that far-fetched because, the ocean is enormous, but maybe it was, closer to shore than, we'll eventually find out, I guess. So, and then the variants, there's a lot of interesting things with that because Greg Nicotero talked about these new ones that they feature. And they did you guys read about those yet?
Mm-mm.
No.
So they're mutants. And do you want me to say or do you want me to not say?
I'm okay with it personally, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay.
They have like acidic blood. So when they touch you, they burn. It's freaking cool.
That is actually really cool.
Did they say if like that blood affects you the same way as if you got bit?
They didn't really go into that, just like there's the first 10 minutes of the first episode is on AMC Plus, so you can watch.
Yeah, I didn't want to watch that.
And when the walker touches Daryl, his arm gets burnt.
Oh, that is so
It
cool.
is so cool. Like I saw it when I got goosebumps.
Oh my god, I just thought of something. What if like so however many seasons this goes, what if like whatever the villains are, they collect like the acid from these walkers, kind of like Alpha and the sat bombs, and and that can like really like fuck somebody up.
That's really cool.
I love how that's where my mind went.
Yeah, I was thinking all kinds of
right.
Like there's lots of neat stuff that could be happening, but so it's so that's gonna be very interesting because like even if we go back to the Coda scene in World Beyond where we saw that first variant or whatever it was, we don't know exactly what it was, because if you read stuff that Scott Gimple says and things like that, I have an article, it's a very extensive article about that Coda scene, and it goes into like piecing, like kind of just reading into what Scott Gimple said, so that wasn't necessarily a variant because of this and that, he goes in to explain it, but at the same time, we do know it'll be something different, that they were experimenting and something went wrong. So it'll be interesting. But anyway, so that was really neat. Great, because I had watched the first 10 minutes, but I didn't want to put that out there because that was kind of, that was like, whoa. But then everybody, he did an interview and talked about it. So then I'm like, well, it's out there. So, so that's one really cool thing. And then from other, like there's just so many little pieces and trailers, and then they're doing little like character clips on they're doing those character clips and things, so we're learning a lot about that. So there's two organizations: the Union of Hope, that's the nuns, and then there's the Cause, which is a political movement. So I feel like the nuns are like part of the resistance, and then
that's the vibe it gave off.
Well, because Fayu, when they introduced him, he said, "I'm part of the resistance," and he's friendly with all. They're all there, Daryl and everybody. So I feel like that was kind of a thing to say that they are part of it. And then, did you see their arsenal? Like these nuns, they open the doors up and Daryl goes in and it's just this room.
I gotta say, a nun with a gun is a sentence I never thought I would say or see, and I love it.
Speaking of guns, and I said this to Renee earlier, can we appreciate Daryl wielding the friggin' flintlock pistol? Like circa 1625. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? I don't know. I mean,
Vive la France.
I guess it's easier to make bullets for a flintlock pistol than it is a modern pistol. I mean, it's essentially a lead ball and some gunpowder. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well,
but
I told him
to work with cannons.
Yeah, I told him that. I said, I think that the nuns, that sect of nuns has just been collecting throughout the years. They've just been collecting all this arsenal up. So that's
centuries.
Yeah, they're through the centuries and everything. Yeah, right. So there was just an old weapon or whatever. But did you see Daryl does find a crossbow?
Yeah.
No, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, when they open up the door, they open it up, he walks in and grabs it, and it's like, yes, he's got his crossbow.
Daryl without his crossbow is weird.
Exactly. And that's what everybody kept saying. It was like, well, he can't take it with him. So how's this going to work? And then there it is. He finds it. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
As Jeff Goldblum said in Jurassic Park, life finds a way.
Yeah.
And, Daryl found a way.
Daryl, yeah. Yeah. So, and so, we weren't real sure what's going to go, because everything, they just kept saying that Daryl will get there. He doesn't know how, he doesn't know why. And then they go on there, to say that, of course, his first thought is, I'm got to figure out how to get home. But then, the first descriptions were very, very vague and saying, but something, causes, problems with his original plan and everything. So what that is, when he meets the nuns and everything, there's a little boy there, Laurent, and he is they believe that Daryl has been sent by God as a messenger to carry this little boy to fulfill his destiny, because that he is supposed to lead the revival of humanity. So whatever that all means. What?
At 11 years old.
Well, no, that's his destiny. It doesn't mean at 11. It just means that's,
okay.
Like, I mean, anybody that has a destiny, you could be 10 when they tell you, but you're not, you may not fulfill that for years. So it's just, and where, I don't know where he's supposed to go. That hasn't been said or whatever, but anyways, they, but it's really cute, because there is one of the clips where when Daryl first is like walking like in the courtyard looking thing, Laurent is sitting over on a thing, and he starts mimicking whatever Daryl does. I think Daryl pushes his hair back, Laurent pushes his hair back, he takes a drink. I love it, because it's just like this little kid it's probably one of the first men he's seen in a long time. He's living with all these nuns for who knows how long, and so I thought that was just so cute, because Daryl's always everybody's uncle, so he might as well be this kid's too. So I love that.
This kid has my heart already. I know nothing about him, and he's so adorable.
He's just a cute, his little accent and everything. And I'm definitely going to need the subtitles for this for sure. I
hate subtitles, so I'm going to have to struggle through.
Yeah, because the guy who plays Cordron, I was like, I had to rewind his character I think a couple times, because this was very thick accent. So
he's good looking, so I don't mind.
Yeah. I was like, that's fine. We'll watch it again.
It's okay.
And Takira said she can't wait to see the Eiffel Tower scenes. I love it when you hear it groaning, and Fayu says, "Do you hear that? That's Paris crying." And I was like, oh, I got goosebumps.
Yeah.
Okay, so how excited I was about Madison Square Garden, I am about
exactly.
Right.
I know, it's just like all these landmarks that even if you've never been there, like for me from New York, I've never been to New York, but I know certain things, and it's like that's that and that's that. So it's very cool, because France, of course, has got a lot of monuments, a lot of things that we're very familiar with, so it'll be interesting. But the Eiffel Tower, that's why I love the one. There's two pieces of key art, and the one shows Daryl close up, and that one's it's fine, but I love the one where it's farther back, and then you look behind him, and the Eiffel Tower is kind of, it's there in the background, but it's kind of muted. But I love that. But so it's the more we learn about it, I'm finally on board. I'm finally excited about this,
Yeah.
Same.
And like I shared with you guys earlier, you all know I'm a huge Daryl fan, so I was very sad that I wasn't excited about this, but now I'm like, okay, now I'm excited. And in watching that first 10 minutes too, on AMC Plus, that was, again, it's just 10 minutes, but it was, it was, I don't know, that got me more excited as well, just to see that part of it.
Yeah.
But
I gotta say, I was not excited for this until about an hour ago.
Good.
So, and I said this in the pre-show, Renee, your articles, that is what convinced me.
Thank you.
The trailers, I was like, it's okay. And I was watching some like the YouTube shorts that Walking Dead put out, plus the articles. So that was like, all right, I'm sold now. That's how I learned who half these characters were, because I had no clue.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's been fun to, these just been a list of names for a very long time, because IMDb's had the list of names. Well, that didn't mean anything to anybody. It's like, okay, so we got this list of names. Because the other thing that's interesting is, I'm not sure how to say his last name, but Adam Negatis or whatever, he plays a character named Quinn, who is a black marketeer who owns an underground club. He was one of the first characters to be announced with Clemcy Posey, who plays Isabel. They were announced first. We have not seen anything of Quinn or what he is, we know he's a black marketeer.
Yeah.
And we just, so it must be, I don't know, but it'll be interesting. I mean, it's kind of exciting too that we don't need to know every single thing going into this.
Yeah. This series, it reminds me a lot. Like, I know, like, Renee, you're not really like a gamer, but Ryan, you might know this game. It reminds me a lot of this game called The Saboteur.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It came out about a decade ago. It takes place in France and Germany during World War II, like when Hitler was like reigning. And you had to go to like these like underground clubs, these like Moulin Rouge type places. So seeing the club scenes in here, plus Daryl with like the quote unquote resistance, that's all I thought about throughout this whole trailer. And it's so cool seeing the similarities. So I'm curious on how this show's gonna play out with that.
It was very cool seeing like the singer with like the cocktail dress on with the
That's
mic.
exactly what I was.
You know what I mean? That was very cool. I was like, oh, that's a cool touch. Especially like kind of like Dead City, right? When we saw Maggie in the bar, I was like,
"What's happening here?"
It's very like out of place or out of context, but it worked.
I think for me personally, what it does is it shows a little bit of normalcy in what is not a normal environment, right? Mm-hmm. It's like a little bit of what life was like before, showing that you can kind of get back to it. You know what I mean? As weird as
I agree with that. No, go ahead. I'll finish.
I was just gonna say, like, it's kind of like the Commonwealth with the fucking ice cream, right? I mean, like, it seemed out of place, but in kind of a good way, right? Because it was like almost like they could kind of forget that the world was going to shit, and like if you go outside the walls, like there's like people trying to eat your flesh. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say that the scene with the bar, and then the scene with the bricks when the kids were in school. That also felt extremely normal, and it's going back exactly what Ryan said. It's nice seeing those little things.
Yeah, and all the like Norman Reedus has been very descriptive about the series and things, and he's an artist. He's that's part of his world and kind of thing. So it's interesting to see from his point of view, that he is saying how artistic it is, how, the photography, the tone, the all these things are, very different from the main series, which is what we want. You want I feel like Dead City did a great job of giving us a lot of new, fresh things while still feeling familiar, feeling like it's in the Walking Dead universe. And so I feel like that's, perfect for these spinoffs, because as much as we love The Walking Dead, I don't want to see the Walking Dead series done over again. Like it's done. I can rewatch it anytime I want, and I love it, but I don't need to rehash all of that. And that's why like Dead City did such a good job. It just felt so like I said that before, like when we first watched the first episode, how it was like her driving that blue truck. If it was like they had that blue pickup truck in season 2, or not the same one, but that, and then she's driving through the woods, and so you have that whole, oh wow, look at this, and then all of a sudden they're crossing the Hudson and they're coming. You're like, what? Then it's like, okay, now this is a different show. But it still just felt right, and so even this being in a whole other country, I feel like they'll still honor that, and still have that, but at the same time it's going to be something brand new. And I've always been excited at the prospect of seeing how the rest of the world has handled the apocalypse in the Walking Dead. Like not other places have, other shows, movies, whatever, have done it, but within the Walking Dead universe, I want to see, things are different in the Walking Dead universe because they're not zombies. They didn't know what zombies were. That was not a thing. They didn't have all this knowledge before the outbreak. That is how the Walking Dead universe is set up. And so it's just very different than what a lot of other movies or shows and things have, they have shown other parts of the country. So it'll be exciting to see, how they do all this. It's France, the backdrop alone. You don't need, it's just like, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
So,
The one thing that I really hope Daryl Dixon doesn't do that Dead City did was have you love these characters and then kill them off like 1 or 2 episodes later.
I know.
I was so mad at that. And I was like, they had so much potential.
Yeah. And that's like, Fear the Walking Dead did the same thing the whole 7th season. Every single time they introduced a new guy, you're like, wait a minute. Yep.
They're going to die within 1 or 2 episodes. Yep.
Oh, and the majority were the 1 episode. They introduced, died in the thing. And what's the point of that? Especially like with the, what were they called in the Dead City? The people from New York, I can't remember what their names were.
Yeah, I don't remember what their names were.
My brain lost it. But anyways, they were you know, they were such neat characters and they had so much potential. You know, they could have done, you know, I don't know, gone
Especially
back
like
to
Tommaso. Wait, was it
yeah,
Tommaso?
Tommaso, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he could have been totally set up as like the big bad for season 2.
Yeah, yeah.
Totally. But no,
Mhm.
they offed him. And I was like,
Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know. And yeah, there's a lot of new exciting characters that were, you know, I'm excited about that, you know, and it'll be interesting, you know, like Dead City set up season 2 so well. Like there's just so much potential going into this. We already know, like we're already anticipating a lot of this that'll happen in season 2. So I hope, you know, with Daryl Dixon, they do the same thing. You know, set that up nicely so it, you know, and they may give us a cliffhanger. Who knows? You know, we haven't had one of those in a while. So
Yeah.
oh, actually, I have a question because we were talking about before about how like zombies aren't a thing in the Walking Dead universe. In the trailer for this, they called them the Hungry Ones. Is that like their version of Walker?
it must be, yeah.
Okay, because I heard them mention it multiple times,
Yeah,
and it's the
yeah.
only thing that made sense.
Well, I
Mhm.
mean, if you remember correctly, when Herschel ran away from the farm and he was at the bar, what did those guys call the walkers? They
Right,
called
they
them
called them biters, I think, or
Oh yeah,
no, lame brains.
lame brains. Lame brains.
Yeah,
yeah.
they're,
So
you
I
know,
guess
they're
it just
so.
depends wherever you are in the
Mhm.
world. That's your
Yeah.
version of it.
And
Mhm.
I mean, remember, the only people that we really know of that call them walkers are essentially the main communities from The Walking
Yeah.
Dead, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Rick's group and stuff. Yeah, they would
exactly.
because most people that they met said something else, you know,
Yeah.
or you know, that kind of thing.
A lot
So
of
Okay,
people
what did
call them
Fear
the
call
dead,
them?
yeah, fear.
I forgot. They had a couple different names for it.
Mhm. Yeah, I guess I can't even think what they call.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
But anyway, besides the point.
yesterday was the premiere,
Anniversary.
yeah, of Fear, which is
Yeah.
crazy. 8 years ago. I'm like, 8 years ago. I mean, it makes sense. They're season 8, but it just, yeah.
I remember watching the premiere. I was on vacation in New York and had my takeout. The first time I ever had Texas Roadhouse. I had my takeout. I was lying in my hotel room watching. I was like, okay, this is good. Fell in love with it instantly.
Yeah. Yeah. Fear the Walking Dead was amazing. The first season, especially, and even season 2 and 3. But
Season 1 will always be my
yeah.
favorite because I
Well,
love watching the downfall.
yeah. And we've talked about that, Sarah. I know Chris always talks and says that you know, the beginning, you know, we saw the beginning and we, you know, there's so many things in that you know, they were communicating with people in other areas still until the communications went down, you know, trying to, you know, time lapse, how are things, what's happening there, what's happening here. And you know, it was just, yeah. And for some reason, I wrote about this several times where if for some reason the beginning of that is always so fascinating to people that love the genre, and I think we can all kind of agree that it's just like, I guess, watching them acclimate to it and they figure out things and do, you know, just all this that goes into that. So it's always very fascinating, you know. Like, you know, because The Walking Dead, we didn't see that very beginning, you know, we saw, yeah, it was kind of disjointed and things like that. But and we did, I guess, in some flashbacks we saw some things, but Fear was like
Yeah.
you know, and yeah, that opening scene with Nick. Oh my
God, Gloria.
So that's how you open a season.
That is how you do it. I remember I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks into the pandemic, I was driving through a neighborhood and I saw them gating up a park. And I had flashbacks to when Alicia was riding her bicycle through the town and they were blockading everything off. And I was like, oh my God, Fear is coming to life. I was freaking out. But because I feel like it was kind of like, you know, how we were talking about like the fall of society and the fall of the world. I think it's kind of like, well, what would we do in that situation? Like,
like, oh, let's see, what do I got to get prepared for? You know, what should I do? And that
forget a hurricane kit. You need a zombie kit.
Yeah.
Oh, now I want to go rewatch it. I feel like when we're after Fear is done, like in November, we should just like do a show where we kind of just like talk about like favorite episodes.
Yeah, we can totally do that. Yeah,
that'd be so much fun.
Yeah, because you know, there are good episodes, and even like, you know, it kind of went a little bit, but even like season 6, you know, kind of gave you some hope that it was going to get a little better.
Yes.
But then it just kind of digressed from there. But
was season 6 the one with the balloon?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. Wherever the one with John Dory. That's, I mean, when it was like right when he, like they were, I don't know. It seemed
because I think 6 is when he died.
Yeah, but it was in maybe.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. If you haven't watched it by now,
I don't care.
Yeah, I don't know, but there was so maybe it wasn't 6, but there was a certain point where it did, like kind of get a little bit.
Yeah, you had a little hope.
Yeah, but then I lost it. Because I was really excited when John Dory was introduced at the beginning of season 4. That's when
great introduction.
And even Morgan crossing over, I was excited. I thought they were really going to do something amazing with that, and didn't. But anyway, I was excited for it, because I thought they had big
fear lost me with all the radiation shit. I'm like, everybody just found fucking, Evo suits. Like, what the fuck? Everybody has a gas mask.
And, so
miraculously.
Every hardware store has them or something, but
I forgot about all the excessive, Evo and gas mask stores in Texas because they're so prepared for nuclear winter.
Well, and the thing that bothered me so much about that was they couldn't get out, but as soon as they wanted to, they were able to get out.
Yeah.
What?
It make sense.
Yeah. It's just, yeah. Anyway.
I could rant about that all day.
I think it was Eva had said something way earlier about will we see Morgan reunite with Rick? God, yes. I fucking hope not.
We are not
my language. But I am so tired of people playing fucking bingo between all the Walking Dead shows. Pick one and stay there.
Pick a lane. So Ryan, you need to go read my article. I wrote one. I says, unpopular opinion, the Walking Dead spinoffs should not merge.
Yes. I
agree with that.
Yes. I am sick of it.
Yep.
Because we talked about this in Dead City. We had said you didn't have to watch a single Walking Dead episode to go into Dead City. And I hope that's the same with Daryl Dixon. I mean, it helps.
Yeah.
If they start merging, it's going to be like the fucking MCU. Everything's going to be so...
I don't want that. Yeah.
It's one thing if it's a cameo. If it's a cameo, I'm okay with it. I'm
like
good.
Like with Simon.
Yep.
That was
that was different.
And it was very interesting because it was a time period that before we even had met the Saviors.
Right.
So it was like, that was fascinating.
So it worked.
So yes, that's good work right there. But I'm just so tired. But back to Morgan, I don't believe that we will see Rick and Morgan together because Lenny James has said he's done with Morgan.
Yes.
Unless something phenomenal comes, which I don't know that him and, a lot of people want to see him and Rick reunite, but I don't think in Lenny James' mind, that's the phenomenon. It's going to have to be something else,
Honestly, I know everybody's like, oh, Rick and Morgan. To me, Morgan got his closure when he went back to the house.
Agreed.
And to deal with Dwayne and Jen.
Yep.
To me, that was it. He didn't need to see Rick because Rick wasn't Rick was part of his story, but it wasn't part of his story in a way. Does that make sense?
I feel that Morgan was more important to Rick's story than vice versa.
That's exactly what I was getting at.
That's what I thought you were trying to get at.
Thank you for wording it properly.
And you know what? If they were to reunite Rick and Morgan, it takes away from Morgan going back to the house and dealing with his family stuff. Because at that point, you've now undermined his goodbye. And I don't, and I wouldn't agree with that.
Him.
Yes, because like Renee's point, Rick needed Morgan more than Morgan needed Rick, and Rick was not as big of a part of Morgan's story as Morgan was part of Rick's, and the closure that Morgan has is appropriate in my opinion. And and like I said, you take away from that if they reunite them.
And also, you can't please everyone.
Yeah.
So even if they do reunite them in however way, nobody's going to be happy, and it's going to draw such such hostility in the universe, in the community. So they're better off just not.
But to Kira's point, though,
let Rick reunite with Michonne. That's all I care about.
This is AMC's fault that people want this.
Oh no, absolutely,
yeah, absolutely.
It is. No, agree.
Because you're friggin'. You're giving them hope for something that's not going to have a payout. I mean, that's not okay in my opinion. The point is being a storyteller. A story has an intro, a rising action, a climax, a falling action, and a resolution. you left them on the downward slope, my boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's what I said in that article about not merging all the things. I said the reason I don't think that is because people have in their brains that it should be this way, that it should be all of the cast coming, everybody reuniting, happy hugs, that's never going to happen. And it's never going to live up to their expectations because they've built that up so much.
Correct.
You know,
they hyped it up and they built it up.
Yeah, which I mean, I get, it's, to Kira saying that, AMC, they made this in people's brains that they want to see this, but I don't ever see anyone being able to pull it off and making it feel what people want it to feel. Like, I use the analogy of you're never going to have that same feeling that you did the first time you saw Rick Grimes walking down that highway with a gas can in his hand, meeting the teddy bear walker. You're never getting that again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was a one-time thing, and you can watch it again. It still doesn't impact you as much as the first time you saw that. And in everyone's brains, they have that. Okay, it's going to be like this. It's going to be this and this, and it's just not going to be like that. Yep. And so I think it's better to just leave it, just let it go.
That's why fanfic is a thing.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Write a fanfic and be done with it.
And I think that no matter, I think to Renee's point, I think that no matter what they do, people would not be happy even if they reunited Rick and Morgan.
Well, that's what I was saying before too.
Yeah, it would not be the payout that people expect. Mm-hmm. They could not do the payout that people would expect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway, that's
So that's what grinded our guts.
Yeah. But
Chris wasn't here and we still had to do it.
Yeah. But yeah, so we've got Daryl coming up, and then Fear will come right after. That'll follow. It'll, like, Daryl will end, then Fear will pick up. There's 6 episodes left of Fear. Not happy. I'm not happy at all.
I'm very happy. I sleep well at night because I don't watch it, so you have fun with those nightmares.
I was sad that we only had 6 episodes left, but then we had a chat before the show, and I got very mad. So I'm not happy again.
You know what? You've watched Deadpool 2, right? You guys have watched Deadpool 2?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you know the end scene where he's being surrounded by Cable and Domino and all them, and he won't stop. Like, that you think he's gonna die, and then he starts coughing and he starts talking again. That's Fear the Walking Dead. Just finally, just go off.
It's the Energizer Bunny. It just keeps going and going.
Just go off to your bright yonder pastures and have frolic with sheep or whatever. I don't know, but just do something that's not sit here and torture the Walking Dead community.
I just don't know how they're gonna wrap it up in 6 episodes when we have a new big bad. Not a new big bad, but like a big bad.
I mean, to be fair,
yeah.
To be fair, we didn't think that they were gonna wrap up they weren't gonna be able to wrap up the Walking Dead in the last third. I remember after episode 18, we were like, "There's no way they could."
Yeah, but the thing is, in the Walking Dead, you had the same big bad.
No, I get that, but there was a lot of storytelling that had to be told in 6 episodes. In the last 6 episodes of The Walking Dead,
that's true, and they did pull it off.
They did it.
For the most part, they did it.
Yep. I overall satisfactory.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I absolutely agree. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. Fear, because I mean, Fear, they've just got so much going on. You've got something going on with Victor because he's now known as Anton. So we got a whole thing there we got to figure out.
Where the fuck have I been? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's in the one trailer if they say that.
Oh, that's why I didn't watch the trailer.
Yeah, and
I
so
avoided it.
then what else? Then you got Madison trying to rebuild Padre to whatever she wants to help with the kids, and that's understandable. But they keep saying something about rebuilding Padre, but what are they going to do? There's a whole thing there, and then you've got the return character. You got that whole thing. So it's just there's a lot going on. We still have not learned anything about Charlie, and
that you don't answer that.
I mean, like, come on, just tell us. I don't. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I say something. We don't have to see her or whatever. I mean, I imagine she died. But it's like just and then there are other characters we're not going to see, and it's such a disservice to these long-running fans, these people who are very diehard fans of Fear, because as a huge Walking Dead fan, I would have been sad if I didn't see those characters at the end, and what happened, or at least a little bit of what happened,
or at least a mention. At least a mention of them.
Right. And that may be, but I mean, I'm like, Fear doesn't have a huge cast like The Walking Dead does, but there's characters we are not going to see by the end of these 6 episodes. And, hopefully we get a mention, like you said, but there's just a lot, I feel, because they're trying to to introduce new things. Like, like Walking Dead. Yeah, sure, we only have the 6 episodes, and we're like, oh shoot, how are they going to do this? They weren't introducing a whole bunch of new stuff right at that point.
Right.
They tapered that off. We got rid of the Reapers. We got this, and so yeah, it's just there's just a lot going on. So
honestly, the writer's room for Fear, I felt like it's like they were throwing wet spaghetti at the wall and seeing what would stick, and whatever stuck, that's what they went with. Oh, we don't. These characters didn't stick to the wall. Okay, we're not gonna keep them on.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I'm excited, but I'm scared.
I know. I mean, I want to know what's going to happen. I mean, I invested this much time in it. I'm going to see it.
Yeah, you're going to see it through.
Yeah, because I wrote when they first were speculating that it was Troy coming back, I said, and if it's Troy, I'm stopping watching this series. And then I put in parenthesis, I said, no, because I want to know what happens to Victor.
JK. Yeah, so I have so many questions about that with certain items we've seen. I'm not going to say anything, but I just want answers. That's all I want.
Yeah.
So how they survived that? Because
that's nothing spoilery. It's out there everywhere. It's AMC.
I know.
Everybody, the fact that he's coming back, they announced it at San Diego Comic-Con, so it's not. This is not a secret.
I know.
Yeah.
But it's garbage.
I know. I just feel. I feel bad. Like I feel like as if I am spoiling it, but I know.
Yeah. But
I just want to know how we survived that hit. That really, come on.
It was 2 hits.
Yeah. I know we talked about this a couple of months ago too. And we're just like, ow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch that episode before Fear premieres.
Yeah.
I might actually rewatch just season 3 because of that.
Yeah. And season 3 is not a bad season. I like that.
Oh, it's a good season.
Yeah.
It's better than 2.
I'll watch the finale. That's about it.
Renee, we might have to do story time again then.
Yeah, we'll have to do story time while we're covering Fear because Chris won't be watching it either. So we'll just break the episodes down for Ryan.
We'll do a PowerPoint presentation.
I can't force myself to watch it. I've tried.
You shouldn't have to.
And
life is short. Yeah, life is too short to watch bad TV. So
you did watch it at the camp though.
Okay, well, yeah, but that's because Christopher asked me to put it on.
Sure, accuse the guy who's not here.
Absolutely, and then after it ended, I threw on Forensic Files like a true crime junkie that I am.
I walked to the hotel room and I was like, "Oh, how's it going?" We watched Fear. What? Yeah.
I was so confused by what was going on. Had
sure.
no fucking clue.
Like middle of the season.
Well, yeah, I also hadn't watched it in 2 seasons.
Yeah.
I guess our story time wasn't good enough. Oh shoot! I just deleted something. Yeah, so that's October 22nd. So then we have to wait forever for The Ones Who Live, which I think we'll see it. I would think by February. I would bet.
Yeah, because that's usually around the time Walking Dead would come back anyway.
Yeah, February is traditionally a Walking Dead month, and so they wrapped filming in May, so that's plenty of time. So. Yeah.
My only concern is what's going to happen because with all the strikes and everything. Season 2 of Dead City probably won't come out till like 2026. Probably.
Well, yeah, and like with Daryl, I don't know if they finished. I never heard that they wrapped filming. I don't know. Maybe they did. I mean, they're in France, so but I heard lots of things. We heard a lot during filming, but we never heard that it wrapped. And at least I did. I could have missed it as well. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see because even if they had some of Dead City written, they couldn't do it still. They could have already been writing it, but they've had to stop since then. And then they're, it's
At least with this strike, like remember the last one? Like so many shows only got like half of a season. At least this one they got to finish the seasons.
Yeah.
That's the one good thing about it.
Mm-hmm.
Still hate that it happened. I mean,
absolutely. But
I want everybody to get their pay, but it just still sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting because it's going to be a while. We may actually see season 2 of Daryl Dixon before we see Dead City.
Yeah.
Depending. It's all speculative because we just have no idea how long it's going to last. And
the strikes have us by the balls, so to speak.
Yeah.
Like
trust me, I support them. I support them.
Absolutely, 100%. Like they've been struggling to find content to air so badly that before the Marvels comes out in November, ABC is actually going to be airing Miss Marvel on cable TV instead of Disney Plus to lead up to the Marvels. Like that's how like they're taking streaming shows on and putting them on TV because they're desperate.
Yeah, they've got to do something. Yeah.
Which is fine. I love that show, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah. So, if you guys haven't noticed, we do have all of our all of our panels from the camp on YouTube now. Meg's got those all edited.
Sorry.
Up there. No, you're fine. And they're all there now, and we have them on a little playlist, so you can even just stream right through them all or whatever. But we got to interview a lot of good characters, a lot of actors, Chandler Riggs and Lori Holden, Emma Bell.
You can even see all 13 minutes of our panel with Cassidy and Cooper.
Yes.
I had the most fun editing that one because I got to figure out how I was going to handle that.
That was very good how you did that. So, sadly, that one got cut short, but we did some really good ones. I had a really fun one with Jeremy Palka, who played Andy. He's now
a good one.
He's still and he really liked it. He said afterwards, that he liked how it was just very intimate. It was just like two people sitting on the couch talking. And so it was really nice. He's doing all of his art right now, and so it was really fun to talk to him. I'd heard his story several times, but I didn't know that everybody else had, so I thought it was a great time. And then I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but we did Lance and Dorian. We did their panel, and that was Lance's first panel ever.
It was.
So I was like, number one, Beauty and the Beast did his first panel at the camp. Number two, so I thought that was really great. Yeah, and I think he posted that on social media, and I was like, what? So I was.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
Lance even sent me a message on Facebook saying happy birthday.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's just they're great guys. Yeah, and they're fascinating to talk to because their jobs. So for those of you who don't know, they're like stuntmen, and they've done walkers, and they've done Dorian has actually been the Demogorgon, and what's the blue guy on the Boba Fett? Yes, I never remember
Cad Bane.
I always tell my son, the guy that plays the blue guy.
The blue cowboy guy.
He knows what I'm talking about.
Their panel was very interesting because they got to stand up and do different things. It kind of reminded me of last fall with Paola trying to do the kicks with her cast on.
Yes. The cast weighed more than she does, but and then we had MJS and Paola again together, and
they were emotional.
The season 1 panel was great, and then we had the Lynch children all together. So that was fun to talk, get different perspectives from them because they all played at different times throughout the series. So if you get a chance, go to our YouTube and watch all those. There's several of them, but I
think there was 10 altogether.
Yeah, and they're not terribly long, but so check those out.
Good way to spend your lunch break.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because and catch up on some of these actors. Yeah, in the Commonwealth too. I was trying to think of another. The other ones that we did too. We did
Caitlin Nacon.
Yeah, so Nacon, you did hers, and then you did Josh Hamilton, Tara Olson, and Margot Bingham. We did the Commonwealth.
We did season 1 with Chandler Riggs.
Oh, that was so much
Madison
fun.
Lynch, Lori Holden, and
Emma Bell.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. So
panel. Mm-hmm. Oh, and Dan Fogler and Eleanor.
Oh that was fun too. Yeah.
I just pulled up our playlist.
Yeah. So anyway, so if you get a chance, check those out because it was a lot of fun, and we always really enjoy doing those, and we just that the camp allows us to partake in those because it's just so much fun, and we've done them for years. Chris and Ryan did them prior to me joining, prior to Meg then joining. So it's just been kind of a good tradition for us to be a part of that every year. So
speaking of Beauty and the Beast, we're talking about the camp and all that. How you said yesterday was the anniversary of Fear. On my time hop, it showed up how yesterday I had posted that it was the anniversary of the rebranding of Beauty and the Beast. At least I saw that I shared it. I don't know if it was the anniversary of the first episode again, or if it was the anniversary of the announcement. But I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh!
Well, happy anniversary to us then, yeah. I guess I was thinking it was October for some reason. I don't know why I thought it was in October, but
maybe it was the announcement.
No, I think now that you say that, I feel that would have been the announcement would have been we announced it the first time we when we made that announcement, that was the first podcast as Beauty and the Beast.
Okay, I just remember I was like, oh, congratulations, and I was like, oh wow, that long already.
Oops, I missed it. I should write that down, I guess. But Yeah, so next I was just going to ask you guys, like, what other series have you guys been watching that you've really been enjoying?
Okay,
Mine. Oh, sorry,
Ryan, you can go first.
Oh, so I talked about Twisted Metal. I watched the first episode of that with Anthony Mackie, and it's based off of the PlayStation and Sony game Twisted Metal. Um, I had zero hopes for it. I had never played the game. I thought it looked kind of campy and cheesy, and I was right. It was, but in the best of ways possible. Um, it had the humor was so dumb it was funny in my opinion. The first episode, I mean, they hooked me in about 30 minutes, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I plan on watching the rest of it, so I thought that was pretty cool. Um, I really haven't been watching much though. I thought Renee, I told you that the show from the 90s and like the early 2000s, Forensic Files, they brought it back on I think it's HLN, which is owned by Discovery. It's called Forensic Files 2. I highly recommend it. It's on Discovery Plus. Because I'm very addicted to true crime. I think it's fascinating, the inner workings of criminal minds. Um, yeah, that's pretty much all. I think that's all I've watched. I haven't gone to the movie theater in a while. Since Ant-Man and Quantumania. So it's been a while.
Yeah.
I went to the movie so much this summer. It's crazy. Oh my gosh. But Ryan, did you know there's a code you could type in on Netflix and they'll take you straight to like all these like true crime docs?
I did not know that.
I'm gonna send it to you after the show.
Ryan's like, send me that code.
Yeah, my friend posted the reel of it, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, I had read somewhere where they had those codes so you could find all of whatever, you know.
Yeah, and this particular, I don't know if I don't know any of the other codes.
Yeah,
my friend posted this one. I was like, oh, okay, we're gonna have to try this out.
That's cool. I did not know that.
So now,
I don't know if it's like scripted shows too, or like if it's just like documentaries.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Either way,
I would think it probably would be all of them because that would be the genre. So even if they're scripted, they're still in that genre, maybe. But
yeah. So we'll find out. We'll do a test.
Yeah. So have you been watching any shows, Meg?
Yeah, I've been kind of just rewatching some comfort shows like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and I'm a sucker for reality TV where it has to do with celebrities being thrown into weird situations. So I've been watching the show called Stars on Mars, where they take these stars and they put them on Mars, but it's really somewhere out in Australia. And every time they go outside, they have to put like their space outfits on and do all these crazy tasks. It's really weird. William Shatner is like the commanding officer, and they call him like Shatty Daddy. So you have everything from athletes to reality stars. It's really weird. But I started watching this show on I don't know what channel it's on, but I watch it on Hulu. It's called Praise Petey. It has Annie Murphy from Schitt's Creek in it.
Oh yeah.
So it's a cartoon. She plays this girl that kind of like loses everything, and she finds out her dad kind of like Schitt's Creek, like ran a town. But she goes to the town and it turns out her dad was a massive cult leader. And she has to like take over it. And like his dad had like a dozen wives, and she's like trying to deal with. I haven't gotten too far in it, so I don't really know too much, but it's fun so far.
Interesting.
It's very weird, but it's a funny weird. What about you, Renee?
Oh yes, I've been watching way too much. Everything that we've been watching has like one season, so we're like barrel through it. And I'm like, oh, I'm so disappointed. But
next one done.
Yeah, exactly. But and it's for some reason the majority of them are on Apple TV Plus. I don't know. We must have just got on a stream there. Josh just started picking them. So we've watched Shrinking with Jason Segel and Harrison Ford.
Heard good things about that.
It is so good. And that they just announced it is going to go on for a second season, so that's exciting. So that one is really I really liked it. I don't know those two, like, it's Harrison Ford, and I just think of Marshall on How I Met Your Mother. It's like, what, this is
that's all everybody thinks of him as.
Yeah, so but you know what I mean, like it's just such a different like thing. So anyway, but yeah, that one was very good. We just started Platonic, which has Rose Byrne and Seth Rogen in it.
I want to see that.
The first couple episodes I was just like, I don't know, it was just not kind of getting me, but I'm invested in it, and so I like it, but there's just some elements to it that I'm like, I don't know, I'm weird about things sometimes, but yeah, it's pretty good. And then we watched Hijack with I never say his name right.
Idris Elba.
Thank you. I don't know why I can't say his name, but anyways, that was phenomenal. That was so good. Like, yeah, we started watching it and several episodes were already out. And then I think the last 2 we had to wait the week. We're like,
oh, it's the worst.
So yeah, they like left on a cliffhanger. We're like, we have no more episodes. And then we went through Ted Lasso so quickly. I'm gonna go back and rewatch it because I absolutely loved that series. Have you watched it?
No, wait, is that one on Apple also? Okay, because I don't have Apple TV Plus.
Okay. Oh, I mean, it might have been on something else. That's where we watched it. I don't know if it aired. It could have aired on something else. I don't know, but it's Jason Sudeikis, and then, or however you say his name, and then just it's he is a coach in America who gets a job as a football coach in England.
Very different football.
Yeah, right. And so it's just this whole thing, and the characters are hilarious. And I'm a sucker for a good British comedy. I just love how they just say whatever's on their mind. They just, and it's just, and oh my gosh, Josh and I would laugh out loud at the, it was just that funny. So anyways, I highly recommend that. And then we watched one that was so interesting called Blackbird. I think I may have mentioned it like the last time, but Taron Egerton is in that one, and I didn't know who Paul Walter Hauser is, but
my god, I love him.
Okay, well, he's in it also, and then Ray Liotta is in it as well, and it is a really good. It's just so good. I loved it so much. I mean, that one was like, so I highly recommend that one as well. And then we watched one called The Servant, Servant, and it's a creepy one, and it's got like supernatural kind of things going on, or paranormal kind of thing. There's stuff going on that you don't understand and all this stuff. And so, it took me a little bit to get into that one, but then I was like, okay. And I think there's more seasons. I don't think we've finished all the seasons yet. So there's more that we can watch, but so that we've been watching a lot because several of them only have the one season. And then by myself, I've been watching Outlander. I've tried watching that series several times. I would watch the first couple episodes and just stop. I just wasn't, and now I cannot stop.
Really? It's a shame you haven't watched anything.
I know. I mean, I tell my mom all the time, like, oh, we watch this. Oh, we watch this. My mom's like, how do you have time for this? I'm like, well, every morning I watch an episode. That's my morning routine. I get up and I watch an episode of something. So I've just been doing new ones.
But
and then
actually, I've been meaning to ask you. You saw Barbie, right?
I didn't know.
I could have sworn you did.
No, Joy actually went to Orlando with her.
Right, I remember you told me that.
Yeah,
she was dressing up as Alan, right?
Yes, she did.
She
only got like one. I'll have to find the one. I think she only got like one picture. I'm like, whoops! If you work so hard on this costume, you only got one.
Okay,
so
I cannot wait for you to watch it because I need to talk to somebody about this.
Okay,
it is so good.
Okay, well, I'll have to. Because Joy. She's and then I guess they're doing a special. They're doing another release or something.
Are you talking about the HGTV show?
No, it's Barbie. Like they're doing something, but there's a bunch of extra scenes at like they're gonna. I'm trying to remember. We saw it on Instagram.
Was it like the director's cut or something?
Something like that. Yeah, but there's a bunch of extra things in it. So I don't remember. I was trying to see if I sent it to Joy or she sent it to me or something. Oh yeah, here. Barbie. Oh, IMAX. There. So Barbie to play in IMAX theaters this fall with never before seen post-credit footage.
Oh.
So Deadline posted that yesterday, I believe, or the day before. So
okay. The closest IMAX theater to me is like an hour away. So I'll have to
but it's Barbie. It may be worth it. I don't know.
The IMAX theater is in Atlantic City, so it's like the East Coast Vegas. So I'm okay with driving there.
Yeah,
gives me an excuse to do something. But I definitely have to watch that. And you need to see it this fall then, because we need to talk about it. Because I feel like you would really, really love it.
Yeah. Joy hasn't stopped talking about it, so I know she's. Yeah, they also went to see what was the newer Wes Anderson.
Asteroid City.
Yes. Did you guys see that yet?
Mm-hmm.
It's it's on Peacock. I'm gonna watch it there because I couldn't get into watching it in the theater. Yeah,
well, Joy's a huge Wes Anderson fan, so when it came out, we were getting ready for company and a party. We had like 3 things going on that weekend, and I told Josh, take her, because they had to go down south to see it, and I said just take her and go see it Friday night, because that's she's been counting down to this thing. So they went to see it in the theater, and I waited till it came out. And I'm not like a fan like Joy is like diehard fan, but it was really good. I liked it. Yeah, it was very.
Has she liked seeing the trend of the Wes Anderson video, like short form videos that have been going around?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know that she likes.
It kind of turned into like this like phenomenon where people were filming like their day or something in the style of Wes Anderson.
Yeah,
and Wes Anderson has said he's hated it.
He's not. Yeah, so I imagine Joy. Yeah, I doubt Joy is on board with that because she's a very very big fan of his work, and so I bet she isn't thrilled.
Only a couple of them I liked, but for the most part, I was like, all right, it's a little cringy.
Yeah, but anyways, watch it. Yeah, I would definitely recommend watching it because it was like I've watched just a couple. I'm trying to remember which one. The Grand Budapest Hotel, and I liked that one, and then. I can't think of the other one I watched. I feel like I've watched 2 or 3 of them now, but they're good. It's just not. I'm not like Joy about it. Joy is very excited, which is fine.
You know what I'm stoked about? The Mist. We all know that movie.
Yeah,
it's coming out on 4K Steelbook. I think next month. So I'm so excited to revisit that movie in 4K. It's been forever since I've seen it.
Yeah. See, I don't know. I'm not as big a fan of that as everybody. I mean, I don't know. It just wasn't. I'm weird about how Josh just laughs at me all the time about how I am about things, but I wasn't a big fan of The Mist. I mean, I think I love all the connections to The Walking Dead and that kind of stuff and everything. And I've seen it a couple times. It's just, I don't know. I'm fine either way. Oh, and did you see? So you saw the Blu-ray or the DVD for the whole 11 seasons?
Yes.
They announced the Blu-ray. Also,
yes, I did see that.
Yeah. And that the artwork on the Blu-ray is really cool. It's like red. Yeah.
But I have the 10 seasons so far, so I just need 11. So I can't fathom spending $200 again unless it comes with like when Big Bang released their complete series, it came with a bonus disc. That's the only way I can.
The Blu-ray will. The Blu-ray is going to have a bonus. It's the documentary. It's some documentary though. Make sure you can't see it online. It says in the description. It says it's the first time on physical copy, so it may be out there on some other way.
Okay, I'm gonna.
I'll find the name of it because I just wrote that article up today, and it's like, I want to say it's the making of documentary the last season. I believe is what it is. Is what.
Oh, you know what? AMC did air something like that last year.
Because it said the first time on as a physical copy. So I felt like that meant it was out there.
I remember when I flew home from the finale party, I had something in my DVR where I had something to do with the making of. So I feel like that. Yeah, that's right, because they were all on the couches in the middle of the forest. That's probably it.
Yeah. Okay. So then that's so far. They haven't announced any of the other special things that are coming with the Blu-ray, so you'll just have to keep your eye out. But it's like $206, so it's not.
Yeah, I can't. Considering I've probably spent about $500 on the whole series, I can't do it.
Yeah.
So the media hold that they have on me.
Yeah. So we've got do we have 2 weeks or?
2 weeks
till Daryl comes. 2 weeks from. So we would have 2 weeks ahead. Like if we want to do another podcast, like we have 2 weeks to fill something until Daryl. So we'll regroup and figure it out, and then see if we're going to come back both weeks or 1 week or whatever.
Absolutely,
we'll figure something out.
Like today, we kind of just winged it. We had a good show, So
the bossy girl just said, "Hey, this is what we're doing."
For a few weeks, it was like, "You guys want a podcast this week? Sure." Next week, "You guys want a podcast this week? Sure."
A funny story. Ryan calls me last Thursday at 6 o'clock. He's like, "Do we have a podcast tonight?" He was like freaking out because he hadn't seen anything, and then it just dawned on him that maybe we might have. Because I think at least 3 of us said yes. I think maybe you were busy, Meg, but anyway, but that was as far as it got. So luckily for him, because he was
that was the night I was on vacation that week and I had plans.
Yeah. So anyways, it was funny because he was sweating a little bit, like, "Oh no, do we have something tonight?" He's like,
well, I mean, I did say the last podcast because I remember I was in the chat and I was like, "I will be there if it kills me," and I kept my word.
That's true.
Yeah. So I mean that's I think all I got tonight, and
I like these winking podcasts.
Yeah, it is. It's fun. And I mean, there's always something we can talk about, and it's great because all of our people in the chat always throw stuff in to mix it up. So
yes, and it gives me a chance to mess around with layout with the new layout.
Yeah, which is really cool. If you guys saw that from the beginning there, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's so funny because before, like when like Chris was going, when Ryan was going to Chris's house, he was always telling me, "Oh, try OBS," and I was like, "Oh no, I like Streamlabs." And then we swapped, and I'm like, "Oh, I love OBS." He's like, "Really? I love Streamlabs." I was like, "What you Streamlabs does have really beautiful layouts, though. I
really
will
do.
say that.
They really do.
I just made mine on Photoshop and I went with it, but Ryan has me beat on that. So I'm impressed, very impressed.
Well, it's easier. It sucks that Chris has been busy with baby stuff and everything, and and schedules haven't lined up, and it sucks that I haven't been able to physically be with him for the shows. But it's helped that I have my own PC now, and I can I find myself I can't show you guys the setup, but I have a TV right to my right, and right in front of me is my monitors. And so I'll throw like Parks and Rec on in the background, and then I'll hop on Streamlabs, and I'll just start messing around with layouts, and I'll watch a YouTube video for like an hour, of stuff to do and how to do this and how to do that, and it has helped that I'm able to have it physically in front of me and mess around with it. So
it's a lot of fun learning that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Pi, so that's actually my next step is getting our Twitch set up. I really want to get a Twitch going. Because there's Twitch has a very big following.
Yes.
So I definitely want to do that for sure. And Streamlabs allows you to multi-stream, which is pretty cool too. So
yeah, that's good.
The only downside with Twitch, sometimes people don't find you until you're in like your second hour.
Yeah.
But the good thing with Twitch though, you know how like with like YouTube we have special links for each episode.
Yeah.
Twitch is just one link. It's your channel and your video immediately pops up. So that's the great thing about it.
Yeah.
I do miss Twitch though. I switched over to YouTube for streaming because of the whole like creator payout thing.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah, so Pi, that's definitely something that's coming down the pipeline. And as I'm able to I wanted to make sure that I don't want us to turn into something where it's what does it say? What's the saying? Fluent in all, master of none. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to make sure that I have YouTube down, and I want to make sure that I get the kinks worked out, and I get everything flowing as seamlessly as possible before we go into branching out. But I really would like to do that. So.
Yeah.
Slow and steady wins the race.
That's right.
There's nothing saying episode 1 we have to be perfect.
Nobody ever said that there were so many nuances to streaming that you have to figure out. So, but here we are.
I think we got it down pat though.
Yeah, I think in the past couple months alone we've come a long way with our layout and just how we handle everything, and the fact that in the past year we switched from Skype to Zoom was a big thing for us. Getting the layout done, and then for me, I love the fact that we have the chat in the on our screen now, which is huge. It's something I've always wanted. Chris and I were able to do it for a little while with OBS, but it was clunky. It didn't work well. It was a third-party app basically that was used as a source within OBS, and it just wasn't working well. Streamlabs chat was much smoother, much more streamlined. So
yeah, OBS is weird with that. It's like the dock never worked and never connected.
Never works correctly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So, but I think that's all we got. Yeah, just stay tuned, and as always, Renee will blast it out when we somehow manage to come to an agreement on what the schedule is going to be. But we'll figure it out like we always do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks, guys, so much for coming again tonight. We love seeing you all in the chat.
All right.
It was a fun time as always.
Yeah.
It was. Have a good night, guys.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.